My mother announced that I was giving my $10 million penthouse to my sister. Before she ever asked me. She did it during the wedding reception, in front of hundreds of people. My father raised his champagne glass. My sister started crying. Guests stood up and applauded. And there I was, standing near the back of the ballroom, completely frozen, because everyone thought I had agreed. I hadn't, not once. Then my father looked directly at me and said, "Olivia, why don't you come up here and say something to your sister?" That was when I realized what they were doing. They weren't asking me for my home. They were using an entire wedding to pressure me into giving it away. I looked at my mother. She smiled, like I was supposed to be grateful for the opportunity to sacrifice something I had spent years building. Then I said one word, "No." The ballroom went silent. My sister's smile disappeared. My father's face hardened, and my mother whispered my name like I had just committed some terrible crime. "Olivia," I was about to explain myself, but I never got the chance because my grandfather slowly stood from his chair. He was 82 years old. He wasn't a dramatic man. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't enjoy embarrassing people. But that night, he looked at my parents and said something that stopped every conversation in the room. "Before any of you decide what Olivia owes this family, perhaps you should tell them what this family has cost her." My mother's face went white. My father stopped moving. And suddenly, I understood that Grandpa was about to reveal something he had kept secret for years. Something about me. Something about my parents. And before that wedding was over, the people who had spent my entire life treating me like I owed them everything would finally learn the truth. My name is Olivia Bennett. I'm 28 years old, and for most of my life, I was the daughter who was expected to be fine. My younger sister, Madison, was the one everyone worried about. She was 3 years younger than me. She was beautiful, outgoing, emotional, and always seemed to need something. And my parents loved taking care of her. When Madison won a dance competition, they threw a party. When she got into college, my mother cried. When Madison got her first job, my father took the entire family to dinner. When I graduated at the top of my class, my father asked me if I had a plan for paying my student loans. That was our family. Madison got celebrations. I got responsibility. And for years, I thought the problem was me. I tried harder. I got better grades. I stayed out of trouble. I worked. I helped around the house. But nothing changed. Then, when I was 17, my grandfather said something that changed the way I saw everything. He said, "Stop waiting for people to recognize your value. Build a life they can't rewrite." I didn't fully understand him then, but I remembered those words. After high school, I moved to New York. I didn't have much. My parents helped Madison with college. I worked. During the day, I took entry-level jobs. At night, I studied. I lived in apartments so small I could practically hear my neighbors breathing through the walls. There were months when I counted every dollar before buying groceries. Meanwhile, Madison had a different life. My parents helped her with tuition, then a car, then vacations, then the wedding. Every time I questioned the difference, my mother gave me the same answer. "Your sister needs more help." And eventually, I stopped arguing. I decided that if I was always expected to survive on my own, then I would learn how. I got into commercial real estate. At first, I was nobody important. I spent long nights reviewing property records and financial reports. I studied neighborhoods, market trends, debt structures, failed projects. I learned how to spot opportunity where other people saw problems. Then I started investing. My first deal was small. My second almost ruined me. The third nearly did. There were times when I thought about calling my parents and asking for help, but I already knew what they would say. You need to learn how to handle your own responsibilities. So I did. I kept going. By 26, I had built my own investment company. Not because someone handed me money, not because my family introduced me to powerful people, because I worked, because I failed, because I learned. Then came the property that changed everything. An old commercial building everyone else had given up on. The location was perfect. The building wasn't. I saw potential. Other investors saw risk. I bought it. For 2 years, almost every dollar I made went back into that project. I sold my first apartment. I stopped taking vacations. I worked weekends. There were moments when I genuinely wondered whether I had made the biggest mistake of my life. Then, the market changed. The neighborhood changed with it. And suddenly, that property was worth far more than anyone expected. When I finally sold it, my life changed. Not overnight, not magically, but permanently. 2 years later, I bought my penthouse. 3 floors. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a private terrace, a view of Manhattan I still couldn't believe belonged to me. The price was $10 million. And every time I walked through that front door, I remembered the girl who once slept on a mattress beside a broken radiator. That home wasn't just expensive. It represented every time someone told me I'd have to figure things out alone. And I did. My parents had a different version of my success. My mother told people I had good timing. My father said I was good with connections. Sometimes they even implied that my grandfather had helped me. I never corrected them. I didn't need strangers to know the truth. But I never expected my own family would someday use those lies against me. Then Madison got engaged. And, of course, the wedding had to be perfect. A historic venue. Hundreds of guests, a designer dress, a live band, flowers that cost more than my first car. I didn't ask what it cost. I knew better. Then, 3 weeks before the wedding, my mother called me. "Olivia, we need to talk." That sentence had never brought me good news. What happened? Nothing happened. She paused. Madison and Tyler have been looking for a place to live. Okay, they want to start their marriage somewhere special. I waited. Then she said it. "Your penthouse would be perfect." For a moment, I honestly thought I had misunderstood her. "You want them to visit?" "No," my stomach dropped. "You want my home?" "You have plenty of money." That's not an answer. They're just starting out. So did I. That was different. I went quiet. Then I said, "No," my mother sighed. "Olivia, don't be selfish." I looked around my own living room, the room I had paid for, worked for, risked everything for. "Mom, you're asking me to give away a $10 million home. You can buy another one." I couldn't believe her. So because I can afford something, I don't deserve to keep it? Family helps family. That sentence stayed in my head because I knew exactly what it meant. Family helps Madison. Olivia handles herself. I said no again. My mother hung up. A few days later, my father called. "Your mother is upset because I won't give Madison my penthouse? You embarrassed her by saying no in a private phone call? Don't make this about money." I almost smiled. "Dad, it's a $10 million penthouse. Family is more important than money. Then why are you asking me to give up my home?" He didn't answer. I took a breath. "Did you help me when I was starting out?" Silence. "Did you help me buy this place?" More silence. Then I said, "You taught me to handle my own responsibilities." "That's exactly what I'm doing." He hung up. After that, nobody mentioned my penthouse again. I thought they had accepted my answer. I was wrong. The wedding arrived, and despite everything, I went. Madison was still my sister. Part of me hoped that maybe she didn't know how hard our parents had pushed me. Maybe she would understand. The ceremony was beautiful. For a while, everything felt normal. Then the speeches started. My father went first. He talked about Madison's childhood, her kindness, her future. Then he looked across the room at me. And we have Olivia to thank for something very special. My body went cold. My mother smiled. Madison looked confused. My father raised his glass. My oldest daughter has always done well for herself. People laughed politely. And because she loves her sister so much, she's giving Madison and Tyler the greatest wedding gift imaginable. He paused, then smiled. Her Manhattan penthouse. The room exploded. Applause, cheers. Someone near me said, "Wow." Madison covered her mouth. Oh my God. My mother looked proud, like she had personally raised the world's most generous daughter. I didn't move. The applause continued, then slowly faded when people realized something was wrong. My father looked at me. "Olivia?" Madison stared at me. "You really mean it?" I looked at her, then at my parents, and I said, "No, nothing, not one sound." My mother whispered, "Olivia." I shook my head. I never agreed to give anyone my home. Madison's face changed. She looked at our parents. "What?" My father stepped forward. "Don't do this here." I looked around the ballroom. "You announced it here." My mother stood. "After everything we've done for you," that was when my grandfather stood up. "Stop." His voice wasn't loud, but everyone heard him. My father turned. "Dad, stay out of this." Grandpa looked directly at him. "No." Then he turned toward my mother, "And you sit down." She actually did. I had never seen that happen before. Grandpa slowly walked toward the front of the room. Then he looked at me. "Olivia, did you agree to give Madison your home?" "No." "Did anyone ask you?" "No." He nodded. Then he faced my parents. "So you decided to use your daughter's wedding to publicly pressure your other daughter into giving away her home." My father clenched his jaw. "You don't understand the situation." Grandpa stared at him. "Oh, I understand it perfectly." That was when I noticed the envelope in Grandpa's hand. My mother saw it too, and all the color disappeared from her face. Grandpa opened it. Then he said, "For years, you've told people Olivia was lucky." My father tried to interrupt. Grandpa raised one hand. "No." The room went quiet again. "Tonight, everyone is going to hear the truth." He looked at the guests. When Olivia was 21, she called her parents because she was about to lose the apartment she was living in. My chest tightened. I remembered that night. I had 30 days to move. I was exhausted, terrified, and I had called home because I didn't know what else to do. My mother told me Madison had an important exam. My father said I needed to learn how to handle adult responsibilities. Grandpa continued. So Olivia called me. My eyes filled. She didn't ask me to buy her an apartment. He looked at me. She asked me what I thought she should do. I looked down. Grandpa smiled softly. I asked her how much she needed to survive for 3 months. Then he held up the document. I loaned her $25,000. Guests whispered. My father looked at the floor. Grandpa continued. Not a gift, a loan. He held up the signed agreement, and Olivia paid every dollar back. I swallowed hard. With interest. Grandpa turned toward the room. That was the only financial help she ever received from me. Then he looked at my parents, or from anyone else in this family. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Grandpa continued. Everything else she built herself. For the first time that night, nobody applauded. Nobody spoke, because the truth was too uncomfortable. Then Grandpa looked at my father. And now we should explain why you were so determined to take her penthouse. My heart started pounding. I turned toward my parents. My father immediately said, No. Grandpa opened another page. My mother whispered, Please, but he continued. 6 months ago, they came to me asking for money. Madison slowly turned toward them. What? Grandpa's face hardened. They told me your mother had unexpected medical expenses. My mother covered her face, and because I believed them, I gave them a loan. Madison's voice cracked. Mom? Grandpa looked at her. The money didn't go to medical bills. I already knew. Before he said it, the wedding. My grandfather placed the papers on the table. Your wedding. Madison stepped backward. No, the venue, the dress, the flower, the band. My father finally spoke. We wanted to give her the wedding she deserved. Madison stared at him. I never asked you to lie. Nobody answered. And suddenly, everything made sense to me. Their desperation, the pressure, the anger when I said no. They hadn't just wanted to make Madison happy. They needed money. They had spent money they didn't have, borrowed money under a lie, and then looked at my home as if it were their emergency exit. Grandpa said they wanted Olivia to give Madison the penthouse because they believed it would solve their financial problems. My father shook his head. That's not fair. Grandpa looked at him. Neither is demanding a home you didn't pay for. Silence. My mother was crying now. My sister stood there in her wedding dress, staring at the two people who had spent her entire life telling her they would do anything for her. And suddenly, I think she understood the cost. My grandfather turned toward me. Olivia, I looked at him. Your home belongs to you. That was it. Just one sentence. But it broke something open inside me, because my entire life, I had wanted to hear someone say that what I built was mine, that I didn't have to apologize for it, that I wasn't selfish for protecting it. My grandfather looked at Madison. And your sister doesn't owe you a home because she has one. Madison started crying. Then she walked toward me. I didn't know what she was going to say, but when she reached me, she whispered, I'm sorry. I looked at her. For what? She wiped her face. For believing I deserved things just because Mom and Dad always gave them to me. That was the first truly honest thing she had ever said to me. I nodded. I should have told you what they were asking for. Yes, she said. You should have. Then she took my hand. But they should never have asked you. That mattered. More than I expected. The reception ended early. People left quietly. My parents disappeared before the cake was cut. For once, I didn't chase them. I didn't apologize. I didn't explain. I didn't try to repair something I hadn't broken. A few weeks later, my grandfather came to my penthouse for dinner. He stood on the terrace, looking out over Manhattan. Then he smiled. Still think it's too big? I laughed. No, he nodded. Good. We stood there quietly for a while. Then I asked him why he kept the old loan agreement. He looked at me. To remind myself. Of what? That you were never lucky. My throat tightened. He placed a hand on my shoulder. Luck may give someone an opportunity. Then he looked around my home. But this? He nodded toward the penthouse. This came from what you did with yours. My parents eventually apologized. My father first, then my mother. But I didn't forgive them overnight. I listened. I set boundaries. And I told them something I should have said years earlier. I love you. But loving you doesn't mean giving you the right to decide what belongs to me. They didn't like hearing it. But this time, I didn't need them to. Madison and Tyler moved into a smaller apartment, one they could actually afford. And for the first time, my sister was building a life without our parents deciding what she deserved. As for me, I kept my penthouse. Every floor, every room, every window. Because I finally understood something important. People who feel entitled to your success will often call you selfish when you refuse to hand it over. But protecting what you earned is not selfish. And being family does not mean surrendering everything you worked for to keep other people comfortable. Sometimes the hardest boundary you will ever set is with the people who taught you that you weren't allowed to have one. So let me ask you something. If your parents announced in front of hundreds of people that you were giving your home to your sibling without ever asking you, would you have said no immediately? Or would you have stayed quiet to avoid ruining the wedding? Tell me honestly in the comments. And if you enjoy emotional stories about family secrets, betrayal, favoritism, shocking truths, and the moment someone finally finds the courage to stand up for what they earned, welcome to Calm Family Secrets. Because sometimes the people who expect you to stay silent forever forget that eventually someone tells the truth. And when that truth finally comes out, it can silence everyone.